Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Stateside Street, a podcast where two Americans discuss all things Coronation Street. My name is Shanika. I'm going to be recapping the episodes of March the 23rd through March the 26th. We had a short week, a pretty short week due to football. If I'm not mistaken, Friday's episode was going to air Sunday, so don't forget about that. In terms of the recaps, the Stateside Street recaps, obviously I'm doing the 23rd through the 26th. And so Sunday's episode is going to be next week. I'm put out a recap next week for that. So be on the lookout for that. Um, yeah, I mean it was a good week overall. But before we start, actually, I want to do some housekeeping, some church announcements, if you will. So I've mentioned this before in the podcast, but in case you do not know, Amelia is taking a bit of a break. She'll be back um around June, around that time. But she'll pop in from time to time to do like special episodes. We're planning to have one in April for the Whodunit slash Swarla episode, the Swarla wedding. Be on the lookout for that. And then we have obviously some interviews coming up that she will be a part of as well. So, but yeah, wish her well. Definitely give her some love. She's okay. She's totally fine. She's just taking a bit of a break. But yeah, she'll definitely be back around June, I believe. So be on the lookout for that. Another announcement, if you are a fan of Neighbors, definitely check out the podcast Pop Goes the Tam Tam. Well, that podcast is not just Neighbors. It's like Neighbors, Outlander, Doctor Who. I think she did a lot of episodes with about Doctor Who. But the episode that I am guest starring, um, is about Neighbors, and it's about Sonia Rebecca, her journey in Neighbors, her relationship with Toady. Really, really good episode. And I'm not just saying it because I'm in it. No, it's a really good episode. I love hearing her thoughts about it, and she's such a great podcaster as well. So definitely check her out because her podcast is really dope. Like I'm a fan of her work. So definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check out what I have to say about Sonia Rebecca and about Neighbors. Another announcement, a big announcement, Corrie related, Coronation Street related. Corrie has been nominated for a BAFTA. Really happy about that. Congratulations to everyone involved. Super duper happy about that. I think the other nominees are Casualty and EastEnders. Kind of confused why as to why Emmerdale is not up there. I don't know about that. Uh, I assumed that they submitted the limo crash because yeah, that was in 2025, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't submit it because I feel like if they submitted it, they definitely would have been nominated because that's top tier. Like I love that episode. Yeah, it's one of my favorite stunts. Well, Emmerdale stunts at least. I think it was very well directed by Vicky Thomas, very well acted. Yeah, everything was pretty solid. So yeah, I'm a bit confused as to why they wasn't like nominated. I don't know. But congratulations to everyone who's been nominated. Casualty, great show. Definitely watch it. Um, and EastEnders, as well as Coronation Street. Congrats to Corey. Good luck to everyone in Corey. Yeah, I hope you guys smash it. I hope you guys get it. Honestly, we love Corey here, obviously. Um, yeah. Yeah, so speaking of Corey, let's just dive into it. Let's dive into the recap. Um, yeah, we have the major storylines we have are Todd and Theo and Mel and Bernie. We had some side stories with Swarla, with Lisa and Carla and Connie. Some possible foreshadowing, hopefully not, in my opinion, with Betsy. And then we had some Jody bits, and I'm gonna dig into that a little bit later when we get to that when we get to that storyline. But yeah, let's talk about Todd and Theo. Um, This story has definitely ramped up lately, and I'm very happy about that because I felt like we weren't really getting anywhere at first in the last like couple of weeks, but it's definitely wrapping up now because people are starting to notice some things and pick up on some things. So first of the week, we start off with Todd. Like he is rough, like he's definitely out of it. And so previously, we saw that Theo drugged Todd. So, yes, Todd is knocked out on the sofa. He's obviously missing the marathon, and James is trying to figure out what's going on, right? Like it's not like Todd to just miss something like that, something so important. So James, Sarah, Chesney, Gemma, like everyone is like, where is Todd? Right? Um Theo just like, oh, maybe he's gonna meet us at the starting line. Obviously, he knows that Todd is not going to meet them at the starting line. Once Todd comes to, he feels embarrassed, and absolutely gutted that he missed it. And obviously, he doesn't know that he was drugged. So he just thought he just overslept, right? It was just his irresponsibility that sort of made this happen. And Theo of completely grinding Todd down, like grinding his self-esteem down yet again. It's very, very sickening to see. Theo and Todd go to the Rovers to meet with everyone. Sarah, Kit is there as well, Gemma, James, George, Summer, everyone. And again, Todd is just beside himself. Like he's absolutely gutted. He has so much guilt, and he's pretty hard on himself. And again, Theo puts on the charm, right? And Todd is clearly upset, but everyone assumes that it's because of missing the race. Obviously, it's not. Obviously, it's not. But Theo sort of leans into that. George is really suspicious of Theo, and that's going to be a big thing in the later episodes, like Wednesday and Thursday's episode. George knows like something is wrong, right? Something is wrong, and he tells Theo, he tells Todd that yeah, Theo might be a good person, but he's not the right one. Todd is just not. He's not getting it. I want to know your opinion because I've been hearing on social media, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, some people say that Todd is being a pushover, that he's being written out of character. I want to know your guys' opinion. Personally, I do agree that he's being written out of character, but that's the point, right? He's being abused, he's being manipulated, he's not himself. I do not think he's a pushover. I think he is a victim of abuse, you know? Um, Theo is a master at manipulating the situation and at gaslighting, right? Um, I understand that Todd is might not be the most entertaining character right now, but I mean, I don't think an abuse victim will be entertaining, right? Like it's the whole point is to show how Todd's character has changed, drastically changed. Um, and I hear people say like he should have left, when they broke up, that he should have just left. It was his opportunity to leave. And you're absolutely right. It was his opportunity to leave, but you have to make note and keep in mind that Todd has been manipulated for months. The door to leave can be right there in front of you, but you've been manipulated and gaslit and isolated for so long that you sort of second guess the fact that you can literally just reach out open the door and just leave, right? So we just have to keep that in mind. Uh, yeah, Theo is the person who alienates people, and Todd especially. But back to the week of Corey, like back to today. George pleads with Todd, after learning that Todd and Theo are back together. Todd tells Theo that George is not really keen about their relationship. And Theo tells him, hey, he's going to take George and Christina out to lunch to make things right, you know? So he puts on the charm, takes them out to lunch at the bistro. And he tries to flip the script. Like he tries to worm his way back in. He flashes a smile and he thinks everything's gonna go away. He thinks he's gonna charm everyone. But George knows what's going on, right? Like he has a feeling of what's going on, and he knows that Theo just isn't right, and he's putting on a show. But the thing is, if you keep pushing, especially if you keep pushing Todd, he's going to fall right into Theo's arms. So George flashes a smile, you know, and he does what he has to do. He smiles in Theo's face and say, okay, yeah, as long as you treat him right. But he has a plan. He knows, and he's going to stick by Todd. He just doesn't want to push too hard because he knows that he's going to push him away into the arms of Theo. Theo talks to Gary and he tells him that they never really canceled the registration with the wedding, and he's going to surprise Todd and have him get married. And Gary is just none the wiser. He's like, "Oh, that'd be great. Well, that's awesome. That's nice. That's romantic." At their secret wedding, Todd Todd is falling apart. You can see it in his face, and it's really interesting that no one's really picking up on it, especially Maria, given everything. Um, yeah, no one's really picking up on it, and you can just tell his face is has fallen, is sunken in the way he carried himself, right? The way he just sort of tucks himself in, right? To not be to not be in the way, right? It's just horrible. And the physicality of the acting is absolutely brilliant. And you can really tell that Theo has concocted this like random wedding because everything is a hot mess. He didn't invite Todd's friends or family. He didn't let Todd know or give some type of signal that, hey, this is what I want to do, right? No one's there except Gary and Maria, and that's only because Theo and Todd needed witnesses. The the wedding officiaries and everything, just a hot mess. They're forgetting what they have to say. They're like filing their nails. It's just a hot mess. This wedding is an absolute hot mess. And it's really is just another way to embarrass Todd. It's another way to embarrass Todd, and it's another way to make sure that he stays. So Theo is definitely mapping things out, and he wants to keep Todd close to him. He wants to break Todd. He wants to break Todd. And you know what? I strongly believe once he breaks Todd, he's just going to move on to someone else and do the same exact thing over again because he's done it before, right? It's just horrible, absolutely horrible. What do you all think about this? About the wedding? I've heard some people say they think the wedding is fake, like it's not like official, due to just like the complete and utter hot mess of it all. Like the filing of the nails, like everything's they seem like paid actors, right? Um, I do think the wedding is real. I just think that Theo doesn't care about Todd or anything, right? He just doesn't care. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I do want to shout out Ashish Gadvi, who was the director of this episode of the wedding, Theo and Todd's wedding. I think it was a great choice, a great use of camera work. So shout out to him and his team, his AD, his cinematographer, his DP, everything. Shout out to them. Um, there was a scene in the same episode, toward the end, where it was a song called "Puppet on a String," by what is her name? I think it's Sandy Shaw. I think sung that. Yeah. And that song in itself is just have a lot of like history behind it. But it's the juxtaposition of like having like a happy-go-lucky song versus like the lyrics, if you really think about it. But it's a really great song choice for Todd, especially. So shout out to She's Gotta Be. I'm assuming I mean, I could just ask him, but I'm assuming he was the one to make that song choice, or maybe his AD. Yeah, I have to message him, reach out to him to see. But shout outs to him and his team. Really great work. So in our last episode, Thursday's episode, Theo is right back at berating Todd. And there's this one scene. I'm telling you, when I watched that scene, I clapped so hard. I was like, yes, finally, finally George knows, right? We're one step closer. And obviously George doesn't know everything, but I think he'll piece everything together. The scene I'm talking about, you guys will probably already know. Theo comes in the house. He hears water running in the restroom. He assumes that it's Todd. So he just launches on a tirade, calling him names, just absolutely disrespectful. He called him like Porky, he called him frigid, just completely disrespectful. And so he thinks he's just like running off at the mouth, like talking out the side of his neck. Todd comes in the house and everything stops. He's like, wait, what? Great. George comes out the restroom. And I'm telling you, I cheered so much. I was like, yes, finally, finally, finally we're getting somewhere. George knows, right, about at the very least the verbal abuse, right? Theo tries to play it off like, oh, I thought that was you, Todd, in there. I just, laid you a new one, right? Like, and he's trying to play it off, plastering and smile, trying to like sweep things under the rug, telling Todd, like, hey, tell George that it was just a joke. Like, it is what it is, right? And George is just not having it. He's not having it. He can see right through Theo. And everything that he has felt before is finally being confirmed. Everything. I, j- I'm so happy. I'm so happy that happened. We're moving forward with the storyline. And the thing is, though, just like before, George doesn't want to push too much, because he knows that if he push too much, Todd is going to run right back to Theo because of the manipulation. So what George does is he offers like, hey, you always have a room in my house. You always have a place here. I'm here for you. You can come here tonight, right? And he even texts him later on and say, hey, I'm here. Like you can still come here. It's no pressure, right? But Todd just stays with Theo. Um, which I thought was actually very realistic. And I mentioned before how people think that Todd should just leave, like it's so easy to leave, but it's not. Again, this is right in front of him. George knows at the very least that Theo has been verbally abusive because he heard it himself. So yes, in a perfect world, it would be so easy to say like, yes, George, I'm being not only verbally abused, but physically abused, right? I'm being financially abused, I'm being coerced, I'm being manipulated, being gaslit. Like it's so easy. Air quotes here, easy. But it's not. It's not because he's been manipulated so much that he doesn't even know what's right or what's wrong, you know. It's absolutely horrible, and but I think it's beautifully being portrayed by the actors, and um I think the writing is good. I mean, I do think that they might be pushing it so they can, lead up to the whodunit. But that's just soaps. That's how soaps are. You have to get to the, you have to add a little soapy goodness to it. But I do overall think that they're doing a fantastic job with the storyline, and it's really true that it's not easy. Uh, and it's not you. Todd can leave right now and say we're done, we're over, you're being abusive, that's it, and go right back to Theo. It happens in real life. It absolutely happens. So yeah, I think people just should be a little bit more mindful about that. But it is, again, it's a soap, so they're going to sprinkle some soapy goodness. They're going to be really dramatic and stretch it out into the whodunit. That's just how soaps are. Yeah, I mean, personally, I think maybe like a month. When was Behind Closed Doors? I can't remember, but I would say like a little after the behind closed doors special. I think after that, I think it probably should have ended for me because it does feel a bit, it feels like it's being dragged out because of the whodunit. But again, it's soap. Like that's what you want to do. Overall, I think it's a great, great reveal. I'm so happy. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I don't even know. Like, I'm assuming that they're still going to be together up until the whodunit, but you never know. You never know. I just can't wait to see what happens. Um, is George going to tell somebody? I know based on spoilers, I won't spoil too much, but based on spoilers, someone else finds out about Theo's manipulation and verbal abuse. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to spoil it because I know some people like just don't do spoilers and want to be just coming fresh, which I completely respect. But I will say that someone else does find out about the abuse. But that last episode was really good. I love the reveal. Again, Theo is still trying to just manipulate Todd as much as he can, but his downfall is coming. His downfall is coming. I just hope his downfall means being sent down and not being 6 feet underground. We will see how that works out. So let's move on to Will and Megan. Before I even start what happens in the week of for Will and Megan, again, people look at Will and they see him as unlikable, which, I'm not even here or there. It's not here or there with me. Like, yeah, yeah, he can be unlikable. He's a t teenager, teens are unlikable in general, like in media. But you can't forget he is a victim of abuse, you know? So the choices that he makes are going to be immature, they're going to be, idiotic. He's a teenager, he's being abused and he's being manipulated by someone that everyone trusts, right? So top of the week, Will calls Megan. She's not answering his calls or texts or anything like that, and he is just beside himself. Later on, they have a family meeting to talk about Megan and Will, and he's still denying the abuse, which is to be expected, obviously, right? It's really interesting looking at Tim's storyline because with Tim, he told Sally before that he never looked at it, what happened to him as abuse. He looked at it as, look at me, I'm bagging a older woman, right? Like he looked at it as bragging. But in Will's case, it's not, oh, look at me, I can, I can bag a woman. Like that's not it. It's he really truly thinks that's love there. That wasn't the case with Tim, right? His mindset wasn't like, oh, I was in love with this person. It wasn't like that. It was more like an ego sort of thing. Like, oh, look at me, I'm a man now. Whereas Will is very different. He really feels in love with this woman. And it's just interesting kind of seeing that dynamic. And I love that Tim is integrated in this storyline, Um yeah, and I'll talk about it a little bit later about their friendship. But yes, so during the family meeting, just going back a bit, going to family meeting, they definitely talk about Megan being pregnant. Um, and Maggie tries to force Will to see the truth, She's telling him that, hey, you weren't with your ex-girlfriend at the hotel. You were with Megan. Like I checked. Your ex-girlfriend never came here. Like you guys are through. So who else could it be? And again, Will is just denying everything and still defending Megan. Ali suggests that Will goes to a counselor. Ben agrees, um, saying like hopefully it helps. Sam is hesitant to go to school, rightfully so. Nick tells him like, hey, you should not let anyone stop you from living your life. It is not your fault. It is Megan's fault, and you should not be punished for it. So Sam goes to school. He talks to Hope. Daniel also talks to him. I feel like it was a bit of an overstep. I do know, obviously it's Weatherfield. Everyone knows everybody. They have a rapport. But given the circumstances, I don't think Daniel should have ever approached Sam. Even though he's like, I'm so sorry, Sam. I shouldn't have done that. Megan needs to pay. Like, even though he's like on Sam and Will's side, I still think it's a bit inappropriate for him to do that. At back at the Rovers, Ben blames himself and he actually talks to his ex, so Will's biological mother, and she blames him. Well, she says it, implies it, but I don't really think that she actually blames him. I think emotions are just running high, you know. I wonder if she'll come to Weatherfield. I hope so. It doesn't have to be long term, but I definitely hope she comes. I'm really interested to see her relationship between Ben and her relationship between Maggie. Definitely her relationship between Maggie and Eva as well. Like, what sort of rapport do they have? Ben just completely just blames himself. Like, he thinks that he should have seen it sooner. That trust is just gone. I don't think they'll let anyone else in after this, especially around Will, because that trust is gone. How can you trust anyone after something like that? After you trust somebody for months, years even, and come to find out they're doing something absolutely despicable to your child. How can you even begin to trust anyone again? So, yeah. So later on, Kit comes into the Rovers and tells Ben and Eva that there wasn't any evidence on the phone, on Megan's phone or Will's phone, any evidence about any inappropriate behavior. So top of the show, obviously we saw Will call Megan. I think was it Kit that suggests that maybe Will has another phone and Will just basically storms off. I hope that someone realizes that he has another phone. Susie, I'm hoping maybe Susie. Susie had came in when Will was on the phone trying to talk to Megan, like leaving a message to Megan. He had just hung up the phone. So maybe Susie would say something about that. Let's hope. Let's hope so. Speaking of Susie, she is a delight. She's adorable. She's such a character. She reminds me of Eva 100%. Like I love it. And it was a really nice scene between Susie and Will, and they just hugged each other out. It was really nice. And it just really reminds the audience it's like that Will is just a child. Like he's 16. He's still a child, you know. Yeah, it was a beautiful scene. And yeah, Susie is such a character. I absolutely love her. It was a quote. What did she say? Hold on, I gotta look at my notes. Um, yeah, like so, yeah, Susie comes in and she's like, oh, you're having like girl problems or whatever. And she says, oh, you can tell me, I know all about relationships. Like Susie, she's such a character. Like, yeah, keep her, keep her on the show for a long time. Like she just like a mini Eva, a mini Carla even. Just brilliant. So back to Sam. I know I'm switching a lot, but back to Sam. Sam is very paranoid, very, very paranoid. He thinks that Daniel is like recording him. He's just not in a great headspace right now. And this is due to the situation that's going on, obviously, and the fact that he abused these pills. It's going to impact him a lot, this thing. And I hope they sort of explore it a bit, his mental health and his well-being. So we'll see if that is explored throughout, the following weeks and the following months. But later on, there's a really nice scene. This was the last scene concerning Will and Megan, but it was a scene with Ben, Tim, and Steve talking about Will, and they all shared personal things that happened to them or the people that they love. Steve shared about Amy. Tim, shared his experiences and stuff. And this is obviously going to come up with Tim's storyline, his relationship, and things like that, the situation. So I'm really glad they're touching on that. And I really love the friendship they're building between Ben, Steve, and Tim. I think the reveal that Steve and Ben are half siblings are just going to make everyone just going to make their bond stronger. I don't see how it can tear them apart at all. And this is also another reason why I don't think Maggie is going to go because none of her secrets are really worthy of being killed over. Unless, a little bit of a tangent, there, slight spoiler, Maggie may confront Megan about the abuse. So if something happens with the baby, maybe she'll be on the chopping block. But if, I don't know, I still don't think it's Maggie, to be honest. Because even if she does do that, the only person who would be like seeking revenge is Will. And that's a pretty contained story. Like, I don't think that should be a story for the whodunit. I don't know. We'll see though. Yeah, so that's it for Will and Megan. I think the pacing was very well done. I think we're definitely getting somewhere. Um, Speaking of pacing, I think the pacing for Will and Megan, like that storyline leading up to the whodunit, much better than the Todd and Theo storyline, in my opinion. Like the pacing of it. That's all, in my opinion. I still love both of them. I think they're both of them are beautifully done, but I just think in general the pacing, I think it makes sense for Megan to still be on the canvas come April 23rd rather than Theo. But that's just my opinion. So our next big storyline is Mel and Bernie. Top of the week, Mel is back. He's out of the hospital. He's back to being his creepy self. Okay. So Bernie and Dev are back home, and Mel comes in such trouble. Bernie obviously is just fearful, annoyed. Dev is absolutely fuming. He's upset. He's upset at the whole situation. Um, Later on, Mel comes into Roy's and starts back up again, tries to slither his way into Bernie's life, and Dev is not having it, obviously, and Bernie tries to set him straight. And Mel says something. Mel says to Dev, "Oh, you don't need to be jealous, Dev. We tried that, haven't we?" Meaning, you know, Mountain Bernie, him and Bernie. And that sets Dev off. I am very surprised that he held his composure as much as he did, to be honest. But he gets up, he forces Mel to go outside, like just forcing him out because, of course, Mel screams assault. Screams assault. I'm telling you, it's like he's like a Man City player, like just flopping everywhere. He's like LeBron James, like just flopping everywhere. Like Dev barely touched him, but he's screaming assault. Lisa walking with Connie in the stroller, and obviously she saw everything. Dev didn't assault him. Dev is pleading his case, and Lisa's just like, it's not going to stick. You're fine. But she also gives fuel to Mel. Lisa, come on now. Lisa says, if this were to happen again, I'll make sure the charges stick. This gives Mel the idea, hey, I'm gonna say that Dev assaulted me and ended up, and obviously made me end up being in the hospital for, days. Um, and that's exactly what he does. That's exactly what he does. So Mel reports Dev for assault, you know, and Lisa called, did a courtesy call and tells Kit like, "Hey, we're going to be arresting Dev for assault," just to give Kit a heads up. I think, I don't, do you guys think that she knows that Kit actually did it and she's just giving him a chance to admit it? I don't know. I want to say yes, she does, but I really don't. I don't know. I never know with Lisa. I never know with Lisa. Um, But Bernie confronts Mel after finding out that has been arrested. And Mel suggests that they spend the night together. If they spend the night together, Mel will drop the charges. Just a sick human being, isn't he? Just absolutely sick. Later on, Bernie goes to Mel at the hotel, but Ryan is close by and he sees Bernie go into the hotel room. Let me just tell you, Tim Treloar in Jane House of Roe absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. I can't say anything more about that. You're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And Tim, he's so creepy. Not Tim, he's not creepy, but he plays creepy so well. Like we loved him. He plays creepy so well, right? He's so good at that, at knowing when, and I was listening to Conversation Street not that long ago, and I believe Gemma mention how Tim can sort of switch off, right? He knows when to switch on and switch off, like the creepiness. And I have to 100% agree with her and Michael. 100% agree. Like Tim is so good at knowing when to push and when to pull back. And it's not even just with action, it's his facial expressions, right? It's just really beautifully done, like incredibly creepy, but so well done. He's just really, really good. The entire hotel scene was just so well done. Jane, Tim, Ryan, Prescott, great work. Great work, honestly. Great work. It's so weird to say, but like I kind of wish Tim would played a different character so we can have him on for a good while. Like he's just so good though. Like he's so good at playing Mal. But I'm really gonna miss him on Coronation Street because obviously a character like Mal has a shelf life, right? So eventually he's gonna have to go. But yeah, he's been brilliant, brilliant, honestly. So that's where we left off with Mel and Bernie. Obviously, Bernie did not go through with it because Ryan came bursting in um, and held Mel back, Bernie, in the process of calling the police. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think that's the end of Mel. I think there's more to it. Um, I don't know. I don't know what he may or may not do in the future, but yeah, it's definitely not the end of Mel yet. Definitely have something up his sleeves. But for now, we have um another person in Bernie's corner, Ryan. So yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next. Kind of worried because there is a character who might be put in danger in April, multiple characters, but one character in particular. Really worried about that, and I don't know if Mel is responsible for that or not, or if it's another character, but we will see. Next up, we have Swarla. I think that's the last storyline we have. And Lisa and Carla, nice lighthearted scenes. Definitely gearing up. I think in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably focus more on their wedding. I just think Corey is sort of trying to balance the whodunit with the wedding. I know some people might be a bit upset about like, why they're not paying more attention to wedding preparations and things like that. But I think there's a hope in the next couple of weeks they'll probably, get a little bit more into it. I just think they're trying to sprinkle some whodunit bits here and there. Right, so top of the week for Lisa and Carla. Well, Lisa and Carla are pretty much open to their necks with work, and they need a babysitter for Connie. Betsy offers to watch Connie. Lisa's a bit hesitant. Elizabeth Hutchinson. And I love that little scene. It was a lovely scene, a little banter with Lisa and Carla and Betsy. And Betsy's just like, I can do it, it's fine. It's just changing nappies. What can go wrong, right? Dylan comes in. Love his facial expressions, by the way. Lisa is just not having it. Lisa, Lisa just she doesn't want Betsy to date at all. Like this girl is 18. Like she can go out and explore a bit. Like she's okay. Let her spread her wings, Lisa. Like she didn't like any of Betsy's boyfriends. Like Mason, um I was gonna call him JJ. What is his name on this show? Um I don't forgot his name on the show. I'm literally blanking. I'm just gonna call him JJ. You got the kid's son. Didn't like him. Definitely, it doesn't like Dylan. It's just so funny because out of all three, I think Dylan is like the safe bet here. But yeah, Dylan and Betsy look after Connie. Um, Connie gets sick on his like sweater, or his jumper, so he like takes it off. And just as soon as he takes it off, Carla comes walking in and just goes off, goes off. Everything was completely fine. Connie was like fast asleep. As soon as she comes in, it's like a bulldozer. Connie's screaming at the top of her lungs. Like it's just so chaotic. I love it. Absolutely love it. Um, but yeah, she just comes in guns blazing, just yeah. I will say it's really nice to see Carla with Connie, and I don't I don't think this Connie storyline is going to be necessarily like surrounding Swarla. I think it's more so exploring Carla and her backstory and her history. I don't think it's going to be like a major thing. I do hope Connie stays because Connie is adorable. Okay. I really hope she stays. We'll see. We'll definitely see about that. This week has had some really like hilarious scenes with the Carter Swains. I really enjoyed it. Really fun. Really lighthearted scenes. I mean, a lot people really want some lighthearted scenes amongst like the darkness. And yeah, this is definitely one of them. I think they did very well with this. More scenes like this. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all swirl related. Just more scenes with just like with Tim, Steve, and Ben just hanging out. Like more scenes like that, some really nice, fun scenes that you sort of just watch and decompress a bit. I think it'd be really cool. So let's hope in the following couple of months they start. I think after the whodunit, I think things might shift a bit and be a bit more balanced because the Swarla scenes were very fun. The Carter Swain, it's always nice to see them. The next day, Lisa again is working. She's just up to her neck, isn't it? Like she's just working hard. Um, but Lisa called into work again, obviously because of the Dev thing, female reporting Dev for assault. She lets slip to Carla that Dev has been arrested. And it's really fun seeing. And Carla is just like, well, why's Dev been arrested? Like just hounding her. Why's Dev been arrested? And then Lisa's like, oh, I gotta go. Lisa leaves. Carla bends down, looks at Connie. What do you know? Do you know? Love it. Like I love these scenes of Carla because you can really explore her backstory and her history, with Phoebe Barlow and things like that. And it's just really just nice to see. It was really nice to see. It's really fun to watch. So later on, yet again, Lisa back at work. Okay. Where's Jess? Bring Jess back? Okay, we need to take the load off. Although I think she is coming back. She might be a part of the whodunit, by the way. I don't know, but hopefully. But yes, Lisa's back to work. Carla needs to find a babysitter. Jody is in the backyard and offers her services. She's like, "Oh, I'm certified. I've watched numerous of babies and kids and families and things like that." And Carla agrees. Later on, Lisa comes back home and is a bit surprised because why is this strange woman in number six? She doesn't like strange women in popping up at up six, okay? We know what happened last time that somebody just randomly popped up in her house. So we don't want that again. We don't want that again. But yeah, she's obviously surprised and rightfully so. Carla comes in. And Lisa's just like Lisa is in her like swing mode, her DS swing mode. And Carla just calls her grumpy. What did she say? She's like she said something along the lines of Auntie Lisa went to Grumpy Grump Station. Brilliant, brilliant. Um, I mean, if I was Lisa, I would be upset too. Like, who is this strange person? You didn't even vet her. Like, who is this person taking care of Connie? But yeah, it was a nice little fun scene. What are your theories about Jody? Do you think she'll like steal Connie? I don't, I personally don't think she will because although, no, I don't think she will. I don't think she will. Like, yeah, like she's a bit crazy. She's out there. But if Connie, if she steals Connie, the if she steals Connie, right? And they find out the only like suspects for like the murder of Jody would be Lisa and Carla, or like Betsy and Ryan, but we know that Betsy didn't do it. And that again, that's a bit contained, like too contained for a whodunit. Like if you have a whodunit, you want multiple suspects, like multiple suspects, and not all in like one contained little thing. So I think for me, I think maybe she'll just steal something like a memento or something. I don't know. A ring, another ring or something. Who knows? I think she'll do something like that, possibly. Or maybe she is intertwined with Betsy's, I was about to say Betsy's coming out story. Betsy's coming of age story. Maybe she's sort of intertwined with that. I don't know. Um, we'll see. And we'll see. They're really integrating Jody in the Carla Swains. And I think it's they're doing that to again throw us off. I think they're doing that to throw us off into things that Jody is the one that will be killed, but I don't think she will be. I think if they kill her off, it'll just be a huge disservice to, to Corey Dale, like to her character, to the story, to the narrative. I think there's definitely a lot more story to be done with Jody. But I want to know what you all think. What do you guys think? Do you think Betsy's coming of age story is related to a pregnancy? Because that's been a theory. Personally, I don't want it to be, but there have been some foreshadowing, not just with this week's episode, but even episodes like months prior. So we will see. I hope that her coming of age story is more like mental health based or like self-esteem sort of thing, like something like that. Anything but like teen pregnancy. Um, mm, I mean, we have Connie. We don't need anyone else. We have Connie. Okay. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, do you think her coming of age story has anything to do with that? Or like give us your ideas and your theories. And what are your theories about Jody? I'm going to do a separate video about my thoughts on the whodunit. I probably would do that when we get closer to the whodunit. Because I know it's a lot more to come and my thoughts might change a bit. Um, so I do know one thing though. One thing that's not changing is I don't think Jodie is gonna die. Like she's at the very bottom of the list. Like I definitely don't think she's at all in a chopping block. But we'll see. Definitely feel free to share your thoughts. I put out a poll actually on Twitter, speaking of the whodunit. So again, we are like less than a month away, and most of you all said Megan and Theo. So yeah, I'll definitely check back in closer to the whodunit when I do my own video about my thoughts about the whodunit. So I'll check back, but definitely continue to share your thoughts. Follow us on Twitter, Stay South Street, Instagram, Stay South Street Podcast, of course, YouTube. Stateside Street. Everything Stateside Street. But yeah, definitely I would say check out other podcasts as well. Like there's so many soap opera podcasts. Conversation Street, I'm sure you all know. It's Talk of the Street. Thank you so much for listening. It was a really good week. Can't wait to see what comes next. Make sure you check out the new episode of Greenwich Street Sunday. Do not miss it, Sunday. It's been really great. So yeah, lots of great soapy goodness coming up. But yeah, this has been Seisha Street. You all have been absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Stay safe, everyone. Please stay safe. Take care of yourself. And thanks for listening.